Welcome back to Gentle Herb Living, where we explore the natural, simple ways to grow healthier plants and embrace wellness through herbs and gardening. Today's video reveals one powerful gardening trick that can truly change everything, especially if your plants have been growing well but refusing to fruit. It can be frustrating, right? You've done everything by the book, planted in good soil, watered regularly, added compost, yet your squash, tomatoes, cucumbers, or even your herbs just won't produce. If that sounds familiar, don't worry. I've been there too. And I want to share the one trick that completely changed how I grow food and herbs: hand pollination. That's right. The magic trick is as old as gardening itself, but it's often overlooked manually helping your plants pollinate. You might assume that nature takes care of this on its own, and most of the time it does. But with fewer pollinators around, changing weather patterns, and closed indoor or balcony gardens becoming more common, your plants may not be getting the pollination help they need. That's where you come in. With just a soft brush, or even your fingertip, you can mimic what bees and butterflies do, and the results can be incredible. Once I started doing this regularly, my once stubborn tomato plants suddenly exploded with fruit. The same happened with my peppers, zucchini, and even flowering herbs like holy basil and lemon balm. But let's take a quick moment to understand why this works. Most fruiting plants rely on a transfer of pollen from the male parts of a flower to the female parts, often from one flower to another. Without this step, the plant may flower beautifully but never produce fruit. In the wild or open gardens, bees usually handle this process. But if your garden is indoors, in a small yard, or if pollinator activity is low, your plants might be blooming with no one around to finish the job. That's where this trick becomes essential. The good news is that it's incredibly easy to do. First, identify whether your plant has separate male and female flowers. This is common in squash, cucumbers, and melons. Male flowers tend to appear first and have a thinner stem and a straight center, while female flowers usually have a tiny, immature fruit at the base and a more complex center. All you need to do is gently take a small paintbrush or cotton swab, touch the inside of the male flower to collect pollen, and then lightly dab it onto the center of the female flower. That's it. This one small action mimics what a bee would do, and often triggers fruit development in just days. For plants with perfect or, self-fertile flowers like tomatoes, eggplants, or peppers, the process is even simpler. You can just give the flowers a little shake, or gently brush the center of each flower to help move the pollen around. Tomatoes, in particular, respond beautifully to this, especially when done in the early morning when the flowers are naturally more receptive. Now, some of you might be wondering, is it really worth the effort? I can say from personal experience and from the feedback of so many gardeners that yes, absolutely. Hand pollination is, honestly, the secret weapon of serious gardeners, especially when space is limited or you're growing in containers or greenhouses. And when you start applying this technique, not only do you boost your yields, but you begin to understand your plants on a much deeper level. You'll start noticing subtle changes, flower timing, and signs of stress that you might have overlooked before. It's really a deeper connection with your garden, and a more rewarding one. This trick is especially helpful for herb gardeners too. If you're growing medicinal or culinary herbs that flower and seed, like chamomile, fennel, or anise, helping them pollinate can improve the strength and flavor of your harvest. So some herbs don't actually need pollination just for leaf production, but, for those where you're harvesting the flowers or seeds like calendula, hand pollination can really make a huge difference in both yield and potency. One final note. Always be gentle. Flowers can be delicate, and rough handling can damage them. Use a soft touch, work during the cooler parts of the day, and don't worry about being perfect. Even a small boost in pollination makes a noticeable difference. So if your garden is growing but not giving back, try this one trick. Hand-pollinate your plants. It takes just a few minutes, but the rewards can be massive. More fruit, more herbs, more connection with your garden. And ultimately, more nourishment for you and your family. Thanks for joining me today on Gentle Herb Living. I hope this simple tip brings you as much success as it brought me. If you give it a try, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're growing and how hand pollination worked for you. And if this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your fellow plant lovers. Until next time, stay rooted, stay well, and keep growing with nature.